Well, clearly, it's the next day. It's the afternoon of the next day. And I'm still here. Even though every single second it's felt like I was going to die. Or it feels like I'm going to die. Or like, I don't know, the panic attacks are just insane. The sadness is insane. The guilt is unbearable. Like, it's all just really, really shitty. And all of this is on top of my normal shittiness, in the sense that I don't even know if I've really been talking about it, but for the past 3 months, I've been recovering from the manic episodes that I have been experiencing for the past year, which completely destroyed my life. So I've been in the process of repairing it, and now it's like the people who I would talk most to about it are the people who are actually here in the same city as me. The people who I go to for support are not there. Well, they're here, but I pushed one of them away. The other one is leaving, and I don't even know how to feel. I feel like a lot of it is just, again, my fault. And it is. I mean, I don't know. If I didn't have these issues, then they wouldn't be issues, so it's my fault. And it's a strange feeling, because I also feel anger. Like, just a lot of anger. My friend who I said I just couldn't be friends with, at least right now, wrote me back a message and, was just like, sorry I couldn't be what you wanted me to be. Love you. Peace. Not like, quite like that, but basically. And I don't know what I expected. I mean, like, I said what I said and I meant it. Even now I don't know how the fuck I could not ever be, but I don't know how to move forward in a friendship with this person when, have it be a healthy friendship. At the same time, though, I'm just like, I'm devastated over it, and I feel as though, I wrote them this giant ass message of just asking all these questions, trying to figure out, why do you do these things? Why don't you see these things as problems? Why aren't you working with me? Why aren't you trying to make this work? And I don't know. I feel as though they are not. I feel like it's easy to let me go because I'm just a lot to deal with, and it's just too much. I feel like they don't care about me in the same ways that I care about them. Not that that necessarily matters, but I feel as though they just don't care. It was so easy for them to let this friendship go. And yes, I'm the one who said, I don't know if I can do this. I get that. Which is why I'm I don't really know what I expected them to say, but I don't know, for once I feel like this feeling. I feel as though I just want somebody to fight for me. Not for me for something else, but for me. I want to feel valuable. I want to feel like I'm wanted. And I think this is just really driving home my thoughts and feelings that I'm not really important to people, or to the people who are important to me, I'm not. It's whatever. I didn't know, or I don't know how to be friends. And I think I would have liked them to work with me on it, not just accept it and be like, okay, sure, I don't care. It's not exactly what they said, but I wanted someone to be like, I want this just as badly as you do. And now I'm sitting here in my car supposed to go help my friend pack because he's freaking moving away. And I can't even do that because my panic attacks are so bad and my anxiety is so bad. And I can't even see him because it's just gonna, I don't know. And I feel like that's selfish because he's not really supposed to be moving. This is all unexpected. He doesn't want to move. He's in a shitty situation and I don't want to make it all about me. But I'm just like not in a place to help anybody. And it just seems like I can't get anything right. And it feels like I just can't do this anymore. Like at all. It feels like I really just can't do this. Or more so, it feels like I don't know how much more of this I can take. I don't even know what that means. I just know that I'm so fucking tired. All of a sudden, I'm now really, really sad, and I feel stupid and foolish and sad because I've been sad this entire time. But I feel sad that... The fuck was that noise? I heard that? I essentially feel sad because I feel as though after a conversation with my therapist today earlier, which I was not listening to, I know that my friend in question, the one that I've been talking about and dealing with and all of these things, he's had his own issues, his own things he needs to deal with. We all have our own issues, but like he's been going through some rough times and is not as well seasoned as I am when it comes to the mental illness, mental health aspect of things. I've been in therapy since I was 4 years old. I don't even know if my friend has been in therapy at all. And I've been expecting him to meet me at a level where, I've been in therapy since I was 4 years old. I've been in 2-day hospitals. I research and advocate for all of these things. So yeah, of course, I approach things differently. But it wasn't that long ago that I used to approach things just like he did, by closing myself off, not talking, and then if someone got really emotional or if someone got mad at me, shutting down completely. And instead of giving him some leeway, I ended the friendship. So I feel like shit for doing that. I feel really bad, and I was getting ready to just FaceTime them, but even though I'm fighting the most extreme urge, I realized that one of my things is, again, wanting to fix things right away, wanting to talk things out as soon as I recognize the patterns, as soon as I recognize my behaviors, wanting to just throw it out there in the open. I know that he does not like that. And regardless if I think it's right or wrong, I'm going to give it a few days. I'm going to give it another day because I don't know. I literally am burning to discuss this with him, in the sense that I want to say sorry. I want to say that, don't leave me. I want to say we can work this out. I want to say that I will do all of these different things. But the truth of the matter is, I don't know if I can do those things. So I'm going to give it another day. And I'm going to write a letter. I'm going to write all my feelings down in a letter, because the urge is just eating away at me. But I'm feeling better. There's, in the back of my mind, though, I have a feeling that this person has already forgotten about me, has moved on, and is not thinking about me, and it's too late, which is also the urge to call them and sort this out. The other half of me is thinking wow, you did something super shitty. You weren't there for your friend when your friend could have been dealing with anything. Fuck if they were there for you. They could be going through it right now and being really depressed and really sad, and I have no idea. And I would hate for them to feel that way, because that makes me extremely, extremely sad inside, and I would never want this person to feel that way. And it's not like I'm being overprotective or trying to protect or fix this person. It's just that I don't want them to be alone, because I know they don't talk about their feelings, and if they're sad, they might talk to their sister, but they're going to sit there alone and be sad. And they probably think that I hate them and that they're a terrible, evil person. Well, I don't know what they're thinking because they don't tell me. So I'm ruminating about that. But essentially I was like, oh, blah, 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 blah. I made some joke. And then I was like, oh, what are you doing? And then they said something about some therapy. And I couldn't tell if they were saying I need to go to therapy, which I do, / correct. Or if they were going to therapy, which would be weird because it's dark outside. But that's why I was inquiring. So I was like, you're going to therapy? No response. So clearly, I don't know what they're doing, but I think they just don't want to answer the question of what they're doing, or they want to, which is fine, I guess. Like, sure, you don't have to say what you're doing, and I can take like a hint that you're busy, but it's like, is it really that hard for you to just say I'm busy? Because then I go down the ruminating tunnel and start thinking about all these different things. Like, maybe they're just mad at me, maybe they just don't want to talk, maybe I don't know. So then I followed up with another text message saying like, okay, like now it's definitely time to drink, making a joke in the sense that like things have gotten worse in terms of my stress, and they immediately responded, be safe. And I'm just left thinking like, okay, so you immediately respond to that, which means that you saw my other text message, you just didn't feel like responding to that, and like it's like a whole thing, and it's like yeah, I'm having trouble just ignoring that. When to me, it seems like a simple thing. Just say you're busy. So I've decided to waive that. So I'm no longer gonna bring it to their attention. I'm no longer gonna get mad at that. Normally I would say like, hey, like you said that you were gonna do this earlier today and you didn't do it. And then I would get angry at it. Because that's becoming problems in our relationship and blah, 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 blah. I'm just gonna let it be. I'm now sitting here angry at the fact that they couldn't just say they were busy earlier, which would have prevented me from going down the ruminating tunnel. And then I'm also mad that I can't tell them that I'm mad about that. Not that they would change it or anything, but if I tell them I'm mad about it, then it'll push them further away, which is not what I want to do. But it's like, would that have been that hard just to say like, hey, I'm kind of busy, I'm gonna be responding slowly? When I asked like, what are you doing? Is that hard? I don't think so. You don't have to tell me what you're doing. You could just say that you're busy. It prevents me from thinking that you hate me. Because now I'm thinking that, and I still don't know if they're busy or not. What if they just don't want to talk? And that's what goes through my mind. I have no idea. And it's not like I need to know, or it's my business, but it's like, as my friend, as someone who says they care about me, is it that hard? I don't know. Am I crazy? I know, okay, I am, obviously. But I hate relationships. And it's even worse if all of this is just in my head and not true. All of this could be spared, or at least all of my crazy ruminating thinking could be spared if I just knew. Sure, I might feel some type of way, but at least I know point blank, and it's not like, oh, they're pissed at me, or they're just ignoring me, or I'm texting too much. What bugs me about this entire thing is that I'm just, like, I don't want to lose this person, because I will lose this person. It's very clear if I continue to ask for what I want, or get angry about asking for what I want and then not receiving. It's very clear that like I'm gonna end up losing this person, because they don't like when I get angry about these things, because they don't feel as though I should be angry, or they don't feel as though like I should be getting angry at them for not doing what I simply ask them, because they're simple things. Not that they, have to do them. Like, again, they don't have to do them, but I just don't see what's so hard about doing them, especially when they know that it helps me out so much. Like, I just feel as though I want somebody to care about me and my feelings, and I want to feel like cared for is the wrong word to use in this, because I don't want them to care for me like a baby, but like, I just want to feel, special is the wrong word too. I want to feel as though I matter, and like my feelings matter, and that like someone is caring, not just, I don't give a fuck about what Julius is feeling right now. And I care more about this other person, or I don't know. I feel like I do things all the time that I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to explain. And then on top of all of these emotions of trying to figure this whole pattern out, or dynamic, or whatever it's called, I'm obviously still having the same feelings or the thoughts, or just I'm feeling some type of way about the fact that when they're with me, it's as though, like, I mean, I know relationships are different and the values are different and the priorities are clearly different. And that's okay, but I'm struggling with the idea that it's okay for them to be on the phone when they're with me and to be texting and doing whatever they want to do with me, because it makes me just feel like less valuable. Like, not insignificant totally, but it's like, do you even care about me? And I'm not saying that as in I truly don't believe they care for me. It's just what it feels like. This is gonna be hard AF. Like, to explain exactly what I'm thinking in my mind is, you know, I don't get the same treatment, I think maybe that's what it is, and that's obviously fine. Like, I treat people differently, not like with disrespect or anything, but you know, I have different friends and they mean different things to me. I have different relationships. I don't know. I feel some type of way. And even more so, the fact that I'm feeling some type of way and this person's response was just like, stop feeling that way, because that's not true. I just have to respect that, you know, what I'm feeling. I know what well, I don't know what I'm feeling, it's not true, but I have to respect that people live their lives differently, and that's okay. And that just because I'm asking them to do something doesn't mean they're gonna do it. Is this making any sense to y'all? So today's a better day. And I mean that in all seriousness. Like, today is, I've felt great. I've felt fine in the last 24 hours, honestly. No panic attacks, no attachment bullshit. Ugh, we're chilling. And the best part is that I haven't really even talked to my friend that much, at least not in the way that I think I was worried about, or not in the way that I was concerned about before, or I wanted to before, or not in the ways that I was kind of preoccupied in my mind about. Like, I haven't talked to them today at all, and I talked to them like very little yesterday. I think a few days ago I would have been like, on fire or some shit. But not today. Today we're Gucci. I think the biggest thing that was getting to me throughout this whole thing, and will probably still get to me in the future, something that I'll have to deal with for the rest of my life. Well, hopefully not. Knock on wood. Why the fuck? Why would I say that? Something that I have to deal with at least for the near future. For me, in my mind, when I think about, you know, someone caring about me or thinking that someone like wants to be around me, I think about it in this way. So my friend was describing to me, maybe not in the nicest way, but they were saying, like, I just don't understand how you feel. And I don't understand why you think the things that you do. And I just don't understand, like, how you can go through that mindset or go through those thoughts, or I just don't understand. Which, of course, like, you wouldn't understand. No one would understand unless they've gone through something traumatic. That's why it's called, well, for me, that's why it's called complex trauma, because it's trauma that happens over multiple years at the very beginning of your life. So, of course, it's very, very intense, very, very painful, prolonged, all of that. So, like, I would hope that nobody really knows or understands what that's like, because that sucks, clearly, as I'm involuntarily dealing with it, or not dealing with it. In my mind, when they were saying that, it's like, okay, maybe ask me how I feel, or maybe do some research, or maybe, I don't know, if you don't, for me, it's like, if you care about somebody significantly in the ways that you say you do, then try to understand. And like, it's impossible, I think, but you know, it's like you would do, in my mind, I would think, or I was thinking previously, like, you do everything that you can to try to understand. Or this was my thought process, that if you don't understand, that's fine, but what are you doing to try to understand? Like, what are you doing to try to understand the situation? And then not only what are you doing to try to understand, what are you doing to accommodate or make it a better world for someone, specifically, obviously me, who does understand or who is going through all these things? Like, if you care about them, then it's not just like, oh well, I'm gonna continue living my life the way I want to live it. Like, yes, you should do that, and I know that, and that's like my whole thing. I believe that you should totally do that. I totally believe in that. But that's where I've kind of come to this new realization, in the sense that this person is gonna do what they want to do with their life. It's their fucking life. They're gonna live it, and you know, I can either be in it or I cannot be in it. And that comes down to whether or not, I guess, number one, if I can even do it. I think it's gonna be hard for me, really hard. Like, again, I still don't really know how we're gonna be friends, but I do know that this person means a lot to me. So I'm willing to, it's not the right way to go about it, but I'm willing to stuff down all my thoughts and feelings and compartmentalize. Maybe not talk to them about it, talk to somebody else. I'm willing to not overshare. I'm willing to do those things, the things that I've been kind of taught to do, or things that I've worked in the past with other relationships with other people. That doesn't mean I can't talk to other people about it and complain and bitch and just like freak out on my own time. But, you know, clearly coming to them is pushing them away, and it's not their responsibility to do any of these things. And it also just doesn't mean that they don't care. It doesn't mean they don't care about me as much as I care about them. I mean, it kind of does, but I'm just kidding. It just means that they have different ways of caring, and they show caring differently. And they show that they value the relationship in a different ways. And that's very, very clear. Otherwise, I wouldn't want to be friends with them. Because I know that they do care. I know that. It's just that they don't maybe care or love me in the way that I want them to, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. Does that make sense, y'all?